I don't know about you guys, but I'm like super excited for all of the new heroes and villains that Marvel Rivals is going to be adding. So today, I want to talk about 3 characters I want them to put into the game. Starting off with the first character as Green Goblin. Yes, that's right. I feel like Green Goblin would be a really good tank, and his primary attack would be the Pumpkin Prince. And he would just throw his pumpkin bombs out, you know what I mean? And he has 3 of them. And only 3, because if he has too many, you know, before he has to reload them, it'll just get kind of crazy, because I want them to be explosive and they stick to enemies and to the walls and stuff. His secondary attack would be the staff that he has, which I thought was really cool. It's like a little trident. It was like the coolest thing in the world. It's like a spear, trident, staff thing, and he charges it up and just lunges forward. It's kind of like think like the Thing's secondary, like the Thing's heavy attack. Like it's kind of like that, where he kind of charges it and just shoves it forward, you know. And the interesting thing about this character and the abilities that I created for this, I think the really cool thing is that he has a second mode. So he has a mode where he's flying, and he has a mode where he's on the ground. So when he's on the ground, those are his primary and secondary. But then his L1 or his shift ability makes it so that he can toggle between the glider mode and the grounded mode. And when he does that, he has a different secondary. So his primary will still be the pumpkin bombs. It'll still be the same thing. But his secondary, when he's in the air, changes from the trident staff thing to the Gatling burst, which is like the small bursts of the guns is on the bottom of his glider, which I thought was I think that's such a cool thing, like that it just swaps. And every single time he swaps from the glider mode, like think of like the glider mode, his shift ability, think of that like the Punisher's turret, right? And every single time the glider gets shot enough, every single time someone takes enough damage and they shoot it, the glider deactivates, and then the glider goes on to a cooldown, and the Goblin has to wait to use again. I thought that was the coolest thing when I came up with that. I thought that was the coolest thing in the world. So yeah, so there's that, and then his R1 or his E ability would be Shrouded. It would be him putting his hood up, like, because you know how the Goblin has like the hood sometimes in some iterations of the character. He puts the hood up, and it slowly restores his body shield. So he has a little shield on him, and it slowly restores that when he puts it up. I think that's cool. What else? Oh, his passive, back to formula. Yes sir. If all 3 of the Goblin's bombs hit an enemy, it knocks them back. That's very cool as well. So like I said before, his primary is the 3 Goblin bombs, right? The 3 pumpkin bombs. And if he hits all 3 of them, right? If he hits all 3 of them on an enemy, not on the environment, not on whatever. If it's all 3 of them, it knocks back the people that it hits. So you could hit like all 3 of them on the same person. You can hit 2 on one person and 1 on the other person, or all 3 bombs on 3 different people, and it'll knock them back a little bit. Not like a crazy amount, but it'll knock them back a little bit, which I think that's pretty cool as well. It's a nice little passive, and it's like it kind of adds. It rewards you for hitting all of them instead of hitting the ground. You know what I mean? Instead of hitting the ground, because if you hit the ground, I mean, they'll still explode and do like some splash damage, but it won't do the knockback. So if it kind of rewards you for hitting enemies instead of just using the environment, you know. His team up, Oscorp operatives. Through their hatred of Spider-Man, the Goblins team up is with Venom, empowering Venom's ult to leave pumpkin bombs on his victims after he ults them. So basically, you know Venom's ult, where he goes into the ground and he goes, "We are Venom." That thing, yeah, what is that? He goes into the ground and comes up and, you know, does the whole chomp thing. Anyone he chomps, anyone that gets knocked up from Venom's attack, it leaves pumpkin bombs on them after he chomps them, and then the pumpkin bombs explode after that, which I think that's super cool. I think that's a really cool team up. And then finally, the Goblin's ultimate ability. Green Goblin injects himself with the Goblin formula and grants him decaying move speed and strength over time as his roar briefly slows anyone in his radius. I want this to be kind of like Black Widow's ult, like how, you know, she ults and does the whole thing, and, you know, wherever it hits the ground, it makes you kind of slow for a while. I think that's really cool. Also, I don't know if you guys are aware, but there's a ultimate Green Goblin version where he's really big like the Hulk, where he gets bigger like when he gets mad or whatever, you know? So I thought that would be a really cool way to do his ult. Like, he's normal Goblin, Green Goblin size, right? And then when he hits his ult, he gets big like that. Like, he just gets... it just gets enraged. I think it's really cool. And that's Green Goblin. That's all the stuff that I came up with for Green Goblin. I think that was all really cool. Let me know what you think. All right, moving on to the second character. I had to add him in this, bro. I had to add him in this. My boy, the Silver Surfer. Yes, that's right. He will be a support, and the reason why is because we don't need any more DPS in this game. We don't need any more DPS. There's like 45 DPS, and there's like 2 tanks, brother. We need some more supports and tanks in a game. All right, let's get started. His primary attack, Cosmic Disarray. Projectile bursts that damage enemies. So I'm thinking like maybe, you know, 3 or 4, you know, round little bursts, like something like that, you know what I mean? You know, this is super professional lingo I'm using right now, by the way. I think it was like, you know, just short bursts, you know, of his projectiles, and they actually damage people, you know? So it's like, think like Adam Warlock's secondary attack, like when he charges it up, but you don't have to charge it. Like, it just, you know what I mean? Something like that. But they got to make sure the headshot damage isn't crazy for that, because that could be kind of busted. Anyway, his secondary attack, Planetary Alignment. The Silver Surfer charges his primary attack, causing it to do more damage the longer it's held. So basically, like I just said, similar to Adam's, but instead of it changing from a single fire to a burst, the way that Adam Warlock's attack does, it just makes it do more damage. It just makes it do more damage the longer he holds it. So if he holds down the burst for a long enough time, then it just does more damage the longer he holds it down. Or actually, you know what it should be? It should be the exact opposite of Adam Warlock's. His regular primary is the burst, and then when he holds it down, when he holds his secondary down, right? When he holds L2 or you know, when he holds right click, right? It should be a single shot, but it should do a lot of damage. So it should be primary, secondary is just poof, poof. It's just like a, you know, a bigger, stronger attack, but it's only one bullet. That's really cool. I like that a lot. So his next ability, his R1 or his E ability, which would be Galactic Guidance. Sorry, I gotta make this sound like cool, you know what I mean? The Silver Surfer grants only his nearby allies a burst of move speed. So if you know anything about the Silver Surfer, he's extremely fast. So I had to make sure that his thing was a lot about maybe move speed as well as just healing in general. And we'll get to the healing in a second here, but the move speed was super important to me because he's such a fast character. Like him on his surfboard is just, he's out of there, bro. He's so fast. So Galactic Guidance, move speed for just his allies. It doesn't empower his movement. It doesn't change his movement. It just boosts the movement of anyone near him. Then his L1 ability, or his shift ability, Solar Speed. There you go. The Silver Surfer dashes forward, increasing his move speed, decaying over 3 seconds. I think this is really cool as well, because again, movement is such a big thing with him. I think it would be silly to not have a movement ability on the Silver Surfer, so he has to have a little dash. Now, whether that can go in any direction or just forward, I guess it doesn't really matter, but I said forward just because I think the animation of him, you know, dashing forward would be really cool, and it would also limit what you can do, because the dashing any direction is too much like Ultron, I feel like. So I was thinking maybe just go forward, because I mean, it's a surfboard after all, you know? So I feel like forward would make the most sense. So I think that's really cool as well. Solar Speed. Actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, I might have a secondary ability here. His instead of him dashing forward, he could put up his surfboard. Like, he could like lift his leg and put the surfboard up, like how he does in the original Fantastic Four, the second Fantastic Four film, Rise of the Silver Surfer. He could put it up, you know, and use that as a way to like deflect like enemy projectiles. Like he could deflect them back at people. That would be really cool as well. Let me know which one you guys like better, the dash or the deflecting for his L1 or shift ability. That sounds really cool. Like he could just deflect any. That's really cool. Let me know which one you guys like better. I like both of those. I like both of those. I don't know. I just came up with that on the fly, by the way. I don't have that written down anywhere. I just thought of that. Anyway, his passive ability, energy manipulation. Anyone within the Silver Surfer's radius is slowly healed over time. This is his healing ability, similar to Storm's area of effect, but instead of speed or damage, the Silver Surfer's radius heals allies. So I thought this was really cool because for two reasons. Number one, I like passive healing. I think that's really good. It promotes it promotes people staying with their team, because if you're not near your team, you're not healing the team, you know? So it promotes people staying near each other, and it also makes it so that if you have a person on your team that's insta-locking a DPS character, or they don't want to play support or tank, they can hop on Silver Surfer, do damage, and without even thinking about having to heal, as long as they're near people, they're just healing. You know what I mean? And that's really good, because right now the state that the game's in, a lot of people don't want to play support. So if you can get people to heal, you know, that are trying to, you know, that aren't the biggest team players, but they want to play DPS, hop on Silver Surfer and just stick around your team and do DPS, you'll heal automatically. I think that's the coolest thing. And it's so cool. Kind of similar to Ultron in that way as well, where you can kind of just passively heal a little bit. But this is even more passive, because you don't even have to press a button. You know, you just do it. It's kind of like Lucio from Overwatch, kind of like that as well. So that's really cool as well. The team up, his team up, Cosmic Flame. This is so cool. This is really cool. The Silver Surfer teams up with Johnny Storm, allowing Johnny to dash to the Silver Surfer's surfboard, briefly extinguishing his flame and healing a portion of his missing health. So if you've seen the original Fantastic Four: Rise of the Silver Surfer, you know that there's that famous scene where, you know, he's trying to catch Johnny Storm's trying to catch the Silver Surfer, and the Silver Surfer does the coolest move I've ever seen in my life, turns around, grabs him, and just completely turns his flame off. Coolest thing I've ever seen. And then apparently in the newest Fantastic Four as well, Johnny grabs the Silver Surfer's board, and his flames go off then as well, which I also thought was a little callback to the original as well. So I think that's a really cool team up to do. I think that's really, really cool. So not only is it a cool little thing, it also heals him a little bit, and it allows him to dash to the Silver Surfer. So think like the team up that Captain America and Bucky had, where they could dash to each other, kind of like that. So I think that's really cool. The ultimate ability, planetary alignment. The Silver Surfer knocks up anyone within range into the air, momentarily pausing gravity, slowly draining them of their life. This is really cool. And within that area of effect, I also think any teammates in that area should get like a burst of healing. So not like a continuous healing the way that Sue's ult is, not like that. Think like maybe Mantis's ult, where it kind of just poof, heal, and then it's like, and then that's it, you know. But in just anyone within the area of effect where the enemies are being knocked up, the teammates are also getting healed in that little area, which I think is really cool. Because if you don't know, again, Silver Surfer, he has a lot of stuff with gravity. Obviously, you know, he can fly. He has a gravitational pull and all these things. So I think it was really cool to have his ult be something that just knocks people up. So it's like, think about maybe Doctor Strange's ult, the way that it kind of just grabs everyone. But instead of it making it so they can't move, it kind of just, you know, the maps where the gravity is like, it has low gravity. Imagine that, but just with the ability to move around less, and you can't control the gravity or go up and down yourself. It kind of just like locks you in the air for a second in stasis, and you just float for a little bit. You can still shoot, but you just get, you know, you kind of get floated around for a little bit as your allies get healed. Yeah, so I think that's really cool. I think that was really cool as well. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, the final character I have for you is Thanos. And I tried to grab 3 people that I hadn't seen too many people talking about. I've seen people say Silver Surfer, of course, but I haven't really seen anyone say too much about. They said, oh yeah, we should add Thanos, but I think these abilities are really, really cool. So let's get into it. The Thanos tank. Okay, he's a tank because, like I said, we don't need any more DPS in here, bro. We don't need no more of that. His primary attack is the Stones of Power. Thanos uses the Power Stone to shoot short distance projectile beams. So if you've seen any of the MCU films, you would have seen him use the Power Stone. Super cool. The purple beams he shoots out, super powerful. That would be his primary. And they don't go for ages. They're not like, I don't want them to be like Emma's. I don't want it to be hit scan. I think it should actually be a projectile. So it should be, I don't know how they would do that, but maybe it's like a beam that would actually move when you move. So it's not like a straight beam like how Emma's is. It's kind of like, it has like a little bit of lag to it. So it kind of like moves around and whips around. That'd be kind of cool. I don't know. But something like that would be really cool for his primary. His secondary would be the Eternal Shield. Using the power of the Reality Stone, Thanos deploys a static shield to block incoming damage. So it's basically like he's putting down a wall, essentially, like a transparent. You can see through it, of course, but it's like a wall. He's constructing a wall to block damage, and when it breaks, of course, obviously it just breaks, and then his shield recharges, and he can put down another one once the cooldown is over. His R1 or his E ability, the Gauntlet Grasp. Thanos uses the Space Stone to pull an enemy into his grip. So think like you're Darth Vader and you just pulled a little hoe into your gauntlet and now he's like gripping them, you know what I mean? I thought it was really cool as well. A super good way to pick an enemy from the rest of the team and separate people. I think it's really cool because most abilities, if you notice, most abilities in Marvel Rivals are kind of push abilities. Like you think Magneto's mag cannon, it pushes back. You know what I mean? Even something like Mr. Fantastic's grab, he doesn't really pull them forwards or backwards. He kind of just pushes them into each other. It's not really most of a pull. It's kind of just a knock up. The only one that I can think of that's actually a pull is Bucky's pull, or I guess you could say Sue's pull as well. But there's a lot of pushing in the game. There's a lot of knockups, and pushing. And I think we need a few more pulls. We need to be able to pull people into us more often. So I think that's really cool. His L1 or his shift ability would be the Twin Blade. Thanos pulls out his double-edged blade, hitting a huge swipe, knocking back anyone in front of him that's in range. So like I just said, once again, he does have that ability to push back, which is why I wanted to give him the ability to pull as well. So it's just that giant double-edged sword that he has in some of the comics and or the MCU where he has that big sword. He just swipes it out in front of him and just knocks people back. Think about like basically Hawkeye's ability where he has a sword and swipes that, just like that, but just bigger, of course, because Thanos is a tank, but something similar to that. His passive, Elite Armor. Thanos has a slowly regenerating body shield that charges when out of combat. Very cool. I like when passives are literally just that. Some of the passives in Marvel Rivals I think are a little bit too active. I think some of them just need to be like, they heal, or regenerate your shield. Something super simple just to make him feel a little stronger, just to make it make a little bit more sense because he is wearing armor after all. The team up, his team up, super cool. I thought this was pretty obvious. The Stark Tech Gauntlet. Teaming up with Iron Man, Thanos' gauntlet changes into the Stark Gauntlet, allowing him to fire enhanced beams that burn their target for a short time while using Thanos' primary. So like I said, when he's using the Power Stone to shoot short distance projectiles, he can be empowered by the Stark Tech, and the beams will burn for a short distance while he's using his primary. Very cool. And finally, I'm sure you all know exactly what this is going to be. I think this is probably the coolest bit about him. I really wanted this to be... I want to figure out a way to make this not overpowered. The Snap. Thanos uses the Infinity Gauntlet to snap, killing anyone visible to him once the snap is finished. So basically, this is going to be something similar to Cassidy's ult in Overwatch. The way that Deadeye works, where it's kind of like, you know, anyone that's visible on his screen that can lock in before the ult goes off is instantly killed. I think that's really cool. I played around with this idea so much. I said, what if it... I did more of a joke one. I was thinking, what if the snap was like instant and you can just click it and it just kills like a random 4 people in the game, like even on your team. Like I was like, imagine it just kills 4 random people and it's like just a roll of the dice. You can kill your whole team on accident, or you can kill 1 person on your team and 3 people on the enemy team. You can kill 4 people on the enemy team. I just thought it was a really funny, cool idea. But in terms of like a competitive format, that would be so stupid. But imagine how funny that would be, just to be like, oh, I'm gonna snap and oh, I killed my whole team. Oh no! It's kind of like a roll of the dice, because I mean that is, you know, what he does. You know, he just killed random people. But this is a lot more viable in like a competitive format, or in a, you know, something that's not just meant to be funny. You know, so I think it's really cool. Whoever's visible to him, whatever enemies are visible to him at the time. It also creates this nice sense of an ability to counter it as well, because if you can get out of the way before the ult actually fully goes off, then you'll be good. So not as long of a build up as a charge up as like Wanda's ult, you know, maybe something, you know, closer to, I don't know, oh gosh, maybe something a little closer to maybe the time that Spider-Man's ult goes off, something like that. Just maybe something around that distance. Like maybe he'll you know, say some voice line, and by the time the end of the voice line goes off, if you are in his line of sight, then boom, you get snapped, insta killed. You know, as long as he can see you. So just hide yourself, basically. You know what I mean? Hide your kids and all that whatnot. You know. But yeah, those are the abilities I came up with for these 3 heroes and villains. Thought it was super cool, and of course for the skins we can have for Green Goblin, we can have obviously the default Green Goblin look, and then we can have the Sam Raimi look. You know what I mean? That's super cool Willem Dafoe look, obviously. And then for the Silver Surfer, of course, we can have his classic look. And then we can also have maybe like, I don't know why I thought of this, but I thought of either the human version of him, because if you don't know, the Silver Surfer was human before Galactus took him and made him his herald. So you can either have the human version as a skin, or for some reason I thought of like because they did the summer skins right now, I thought of like Summer Silver, or Summer Surfer, you know what I mean? Like, because his name is Silver Surfer, Summer Surfer, and he has like a straw hat and like, you know, a lei around his neck, or like, you know, beach trunks. It'd just be something funny, because it's like, obviously he wouldn't be, you know, celebrating summertime, he couldn't care less, but something like that, or maybe just something funny like Santa Surfer, and he has like a Christmas skin where he's wearing a Santa hat and like, you know, a Santa costume, and his surfboard has like gifts on it or something. His surfboard's gift wrapped. I think that'd be cool, something super cool and silly like that. And then for Thanos, of course, you have the classic MCU look. Sorry, you have the classic Thanos look, and then for his alternate skin, of course, you have the Legendary as his MCU look. Super cool, super cool stuff. But yeah, those are the ideas I have coming up. I have so many other characters. Trust me, I got so many other ideas. I wanted to add Doc Ock to this, because I think Doc Ock would be such a cool villain to have, because he can just climb on the walls. He can be like the first character where his primary like stuff is just on the wall. Like he's like maybe like a turret hero, like a turret villain, where he's just gonna sit up on a wall. But that'll be for a different video. But if you guys do want to see more like of these character concept videos from me, just let me know. I shall make more of them. I really enjoyed this. So yeah, I hope you guys did as well. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care of yourselves, man. I'll see you guys later. Peace.